How about you? I'm Hank. Welcome to Hamiltonville Farm. Today, I've got something that my wife bought me for Christmas that hopefully will change my shop. I've been needing it for a while, and I think it's going to be the best addition to the shop that for a guy like me. Now, I'm going to start off by saying, a lot of you guys, now listen, you guys got like 30 years ahead of me, right? I'm old, but I didn't start collecting tools and shop tools and things in my shop machines until I was in my late 40s, early 50s. So a lot of you guys got some years on me, I guess you'd say. But this is the Amico, however you say that, electric cut 50 plasma cutter. It's still in the box. She bought it for me off Amazon for Christmas. So let's unbox it and let's see. I've got a project here. Let me show you this project we're going to do right quick. So this is just a little frame that I had. That I think the backhoe for the TYM actually come on it. I cut it down and I've welded the legs here for the support there. And I used it for something else, but I have that fuel tank setting on that little, I mean, that's just 1-inch square tubing. So that 1,200 pound, when it's full, it's like 1,300 pounds. I got it sitting on this 1-inch tubing, dolly, I guess you would say. So I'm going to take it off that and I'm going to put it on this frame. And I've got some casters here that we're going to put on it. I tried to go with metal, couldn't find 4-inch metal casters. So these are the polyurethane. I got them at Harbor Freight. I'm going to use that plasma cutter to cut this down the middle, and this is what the casters will sit on, like so. Anyway, so that's the plan, and then I'll weld them. I'm actually going to leave these cups here so that, you know, when this thing sits on the floor, it's level. So if I add that flat iron here, I'll just add the same thing here, and it'll keep it level. Now the plasma cutter needs air and power, and this 110 or 220 from what I understand. We'll get more into plasma cutter here in a sec, but I've got the air compressor here that I can use, but it's got a 1/2-inch hose on it, so I'm not sure if I'll use that one, or since this one's already got a 1/4-inch hose on it, I'll see what the machine takes, and I might use this one because it doesn't take a lot of air, but it does indeed take air. So let's get this thing unboxed and see what it has. I think she gave, I think they're online for, I don't know, maybe 300 bucks, 350 bucks, something like that. $300 to $400 is what it is. And I'm sure this is an entry-level plasma cutter. You could probably get, there's probably, I don't know, maybe Lincoln or Miller. They probably make some that are pretty cool. You get an instructions manual. All right, let's see what the box has in it. Of course, the machine, it is dual voltage. Comes with an adapter for 110, 220. Here's your torch with some consumables. They give you two tips, two cutting ceramic guards, 2 elements. Again, your torch. Well, actually you get 3 because one comes on the torch. I'm sure this is your grounding cable. You have to have it grounded. It's similar to a welder. Yeah. Your earth clamp, as my friends across the pond say. Okie dokie. So we'll set that there. I should have dried this off. All right, here she is out of the box. It's got the air pressure gauge, air adjustment, pull out pressure regulating valve to adjust. Only works in the green zone, so you pull it out, you adjust it here. and then push it back in. This is the green zone here. This is your amperage here. And so your air gauge, your air adjustment, and your voltage here. The more voltage is for the thickness of the metals. Your torch and your electrical outlet goes here, and then the air goes here, or vice versa. I'll figure that out here in a sec. But it's a pretty simple machine. Drain plug here. All right. Air goes in here, so it is a 1/4 inch. I can tell by looking at it. Got a breaker there, off on. Okay, cool. All right. I'll read the instructions manual and see exactly. This is the cut 50. That means it just can do thicker metal, I think. So let me read this. Let me get this set up, and we will go from there. The cut 50 is, again, Amico, I don't know how you say that. The cut 50 is what I got. It is 115 or 230. You can do 60% at 50 amps, for the duty cycle, that is. 100% at 38 amps. It is single phase, fan cooled, weighs about 30 pounds. I don't think it weighs 30 pounds. I think that's no way that's 30 pounds. Anyway, so here's really what I was looking for. The plasma cutting specifications. Tells you your currents, your amps, right? 20 to 30, 30 to 40, etc., etc. Tells you how fast to move your torch here, and then your air pressure here, and then the thickness of the metal here. And so this metal that we're cutting now, I want to say, I think it's a 1/4. I don't know. I'll measure it here in a sec. I've got a thickness gauge on order. It hasn't got here yet. But anyway, so it'll tell us what our amperage needs to be. Hopefully it's 110. I could just plug it in the wall over there. If it's 220, then I've got to run a extension cord. So this is 1/8 inch thick. So that will be in this range here, to 0.12 to 0.47. So I'll need 52 to 60 psi and 30 to 40 amps, which is on the upper end of 110. All right, so let's get her rigged up and see if we can't make this happen. All right, so I've turned the breaker on in the back of the machine, plugged in the air, got all the connections made up front. So here we dial the amperage down. Goes to 2 to 51. And it said we needed 30 to 40 amps or something like that. What did it say? 30 to 40 amps is what the specs say for this. All right, so let's figure out how to get this thing turned on. It'd be nice if I had a stand or some type of rolling cabinet for it like I do my welder. Let's keep going. All right, I'll let that build up some pressure. Then I'll adjust it over here in the green. And I'll adjust it up to 52 to 60 psi. Put this in the vise and go for it. Try it like that. My shield is too sensitive or something. I can't hardly see what I'm doing. And I'm going too fast. We got dross. I think that's what they call it. Yeah, you can use wow. Now, when you get the speed right, look at that. When you get the speed right, hold on, let me give y'all a better shot. When you get the speed right, it's good. This is not good. But I need a guide of some sort, like a straight edge or something. Look where I got. I promise I ain't been drinking this morning. But that's what you want right there. Look how clean that cut is. Okay, let's keep going. We're learning, folks. I'm pulling too many amps. I keep blowing fuses on my circuit. Doggone it. Let me try to figure this out. What I ended up doing, putting some vice grips here. I need some of those welding vice grips. That will act as a guide to drag this torch across there. Keep me in a straight line. You're supposed to do it 90 degrees like that and drag it along there. So don't lean back or don't edge forward. But anyway, and also I dropped the amperage down to 29 and I've got 30 pounds. I'll have to keep my eye on the air pressure because that has something to do with it as well. So let's crank this thing back up and see what's up. So I'm not dragging smooth. Let's see. Let me turn some air pressure on. Yeah, I'm not dragging smooth. I'm just start and stop and start and stop. And I mean, it's going to get cut, but I'm gonna need a big grinder. The straight edge definitely helped. But I went too fast. I only cut through like pieces of it. So there's spots that didn't get cut through. But this thing's awesome. Holy cow. If I'm going to be using my welder in this thing, I probably need to put a 30 or 40 amp breaker in my service. Let's see if I can knock that off and take a quick look at it. Yeah, I didn't even get through none of it, hardly. Look, I didn't get through that side. None of that. And then just a couple spots here. So I wonder if I can come along this side, hit it from the back side, or should I just keep trying to do... Wow, that's hot. Just keep trying to do that. I mean, I know my problem, to be honest with you. My problem is I'm going too fast. I think I probably need to see if I can get the amps cut up more, but man, my service, my 20 amp breaker just ain't working on much. Hold on a sec. All right, got all the pieces cut. My outlet with that 20 amp breaker is just not cutting it. So I've got the grinder now. All right, let's flip this thing over, see if she rolls. I'll purposely keep you guys far enough away where you can't see the welds. I'm gonna hit it with a grinder and paint. There we go. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Probably should have bought some that had the brake locks on them. Hindsight being 20/20. Yeah, don't look at the welds. They're not good at all. But I'm gonna hit them with a grinder. Grinder and paint makes me the welder I ain't, right? But this is gonna be my new fuel buggy. I'm gonna take that fuel tank, put it on over here. That's awesome. But I'm still curious as to why. I mean, obviously the reason is this don't draw as many amps as that. But the Amico Cut 50, it worked great when I could get it to work, but it's not the machine's fault. Totally my fault on the electrical or whatever. So anyway, yeah, now all I gotta do is grind this and paint it and it will be good to go. Whew, look at that bubble gum. I'm a horrible welder. Anyway, hey. All right, I really didn't give the plasma cutter a fair shake in the first half of the video. I was running it through a 20 amp breaker, and so really kind of unfair to the plasma cutter. So I went out and I bought a pigtail for my 4-prong 220 outlet that adapts to a 3-prong 220 extension cord here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and plug this into my 50 amp breaker that I've got behind my pole barn here. It's like we used it for an RV spot for a while. But I'm gonna plug this in. I'll run the plasma cutter through a 220 50 amp breaker and let's see if that does any better. I'm sure it will. So let's go ahead and get it all configured. Let's plug got the light on, so that's working good. All right. Now we got 220 power to the plasma cutter. Yeah, much better. That's gonna blink, you can't see it. But I can up these amps to whatever gauge it needs to be. Let me put the air pressure onto it. Let me put the air on it and see if we can get this thing cutting better than what we did in the first half of the video. Also ordered a metal gauge thickness guide. Been wanting one of these for a while. So this is going to be 3/16. Yeah, 3/16 metal here for this piece. So we'll try that. And this is going to be same thing, 3/16. I guess that's a little bigger than 10 gauge. So that would be like 8 gauge maybe, I'm not sure. 3/16. I thought that might have been, let's see what the walls are on this. Oh, it's the same. 3/16. So let me go find another piece of something that's different than a 3/16 and something thicker or at least a different width. And so we can try 2 different widths on the plasma cutter. Here I found this piece. It is a 1/4 inch according to the thickness gauge here. Yeah, 1/4 inch. All right, so this is a 1/4 inch. That's 3/16. So let's get them cut. For the 3/16, you're looking at 52 to 60 psi, 30 to 40 amps. So I'm at 52 psi, and let me crank up the amps. 50 amps. So we are 30 to 40 amps. I'm sorry. Let me crank this thing back down to 40 amps. Let's put 35. You can't see it blinking, but it says 35 on it right there. Okay, let's cut it. Should work. If my ground is good, it'll work. If my ground ain't good, we'll have to ground it better. Yeah, there we go. Oh yeah, That's way better. Look how much cleaner that cut is. What a difference that makes. You know? Let me go get my gloves on. Yeah, that's much, much better. More gooder, as they say. Let's see the back side of that. You can just hit, that dross just comes off. Yeah, look at that. Look how clean that cut is. Wow. So that was, how many amps was that? 35 amps. 35 amps at 52 PSI. Look at how clean that cut is right there. So now, let's go to the thicker metal and see. Yeah, that's, let's see if I can cut a hole in it right quick. That's always fun to try, ain't it? Let's try that. Make sure I still got, yeah, 52 PSI, 35 amps. Here we go. Look at that. Huh? Oh my goodness. Let's take a pair of needle nose pliers here. So what this is going to be good for is when I want to put a trailer box. I mean, this is obviously not the way to do this, but I'm going to, maybe a screwdriver, cutting it all the way through. I got a torch, right? But yeah, I want to cut a hole in the forks on my tractor. Look how clean that cut is. Am I on that? Let's see. Yeah. Wow. That's pretty impressive. Freehand circles, huh? I'm all about it. Let's try the thicker piece and see how that goes. One thing you have to be cautious about is your working conditions. So I've got some leaves down here. Let me blow those away right quick. And that way I don't catch nothing on fire with the sparks. All right, so we're going to look at 0.250. So we want 50 amps, 60 to 70 PSI, 60 to 67 PSI. So we'll cut the amps up to 50. We'll go 51. And let me see if I can adjust the air. Turn the air compressor back on. I turned the air compressor off. So let's fill this thing up with 60 PSI. 60 PSI, 50 amps. Let's see what we got here. See if we can cut another circle. That was kind of fun, wasn't it? Yeah, you know, the first half of that video, I was like, man, that's not very fair. That's not very fair to this plasma cutter. I mean, that's just, I mean, it's like butter. It's literally like butter. Look at that. Look how clean that cut is. This is where I went back over it. So. All right, let's cut a straight line in it. Again, 1/4 inch. All right, probably running my camera, but wow. So your travel speed and all that is affected. Look how clean that is. Take your chipping hammer and get it off the backside here. I didn't go all the way through. So again, that's just operator error. That's not the machine, but look how clean it is on the backside. Yeah. 60 PSI, 50 amps. We'll go to 1/4 inch. I got a new toy. That thing's awesome. Now I just got to practice, get better with it. If you got some spots, I can see some spots on the lens there, so where the sparks hit it. So bad placement of the camera, right? But that's okay. Those little cap covers are replaceable. They're like $5, so it's no big deal. But a lesson learned not to do that again. But an Amico electric cut 50 on a 220 plug, 50 amp breaker. It'll do everything I need it to do. So, you know, like I say, I got to learn travel speed, learn other things, settings on that. But man, that bad boy's legit. I'm digging it. It's going to be awesome. We're going to have a lot of fun with it. I want to put, here's the forks I've got on my TYM. I want to cut a hole in it, in the tip of them, and put, I've got 1,000 balls, trailer hitch balls just laying around everywhere on my property, right? I got tons of these things, 2 5/16. This one's a 1 7/8 inch, but here's another one. There's 3 of them right there. But anyway, so I want to cut a hole in my forks, and then I'll use that and put a trailer hitch ball in there when I need to move stuff around. But anyway, hey, I appreciate you guys watching. Check out the Amico electric cut 50. If for a hobby guy that's not going to do it, you know, I'm not going to use it for income. I'm just going to use it to fix things around the farm. That's a pretty good little unit so far, it seems like. That was pretty impressive. So anyway, we'll do more projects and more videos using the plasma cutter on the channel. We appreciate you guys watching. Take care. God bless you guys.